What did your crush do that absolutely killed your interest? His sister actually approached me and let me know that he was once arrested for locking their other pregnant sister in their basement. Went on a coke binge while she desperately tried to get out. And went outside to beat their unsuspecting neighbor's van with a golf club. That was a big ol' nope. Told me that she didn't like me back anymore. But maybe if I waited long enough she would like me like that again. Wanted to look through my phone on our first date to make sure I wasn't talking to anyone else. That was our last date. We worked together, and as I got to know him more I learned he talked badly about everyone. Nurses that are amazing he'd belittle. Talk about how certain people don't know what they are doing because they asked for an ultrasound for as they were struggling getting a vein on a heroin addict. The paramedics were worthless. Doctors don't know what they are doing. Who he thought was hooking up, and it completely turned me off. He's in his early 40s and into gossip more than my teenage daughter. Said she was stirring up a group for LGBT youth. I asked her why, and then realized I had been barking up the wrong tree. He picked me up for our first date and his car was disgusting. Not talking a few trash items. The entire back seat and floorboard was completely covered in piled up trash. Even up front. I had to step on empty McDonald's bags. Old soda bottles. Wrappers etc. to even get in. And all he said was, "Just move it around with your feet." No sorry or anything. Made me feel like trash too. Like dang. Couldn't even clean up a little? Talk non-stop about himself and his accomplishments and never asked me one question about myself. She asked me if I was good with kids because she was pregnant with her ex and that she's not good with kids. It was the first date. Well, it turns out he wasn't interested in girls, so I knew I had to kill my feelings or feel stupid for keeping them. She detested cats and insisted that I give up my furry buddy before she'd move in with me. It wasn't that she was allergic to cats. She issued the ultimatum because, according to her, my cat received too much of my time and affection. And she wasn't going to compete. We were teenagers. He lived in a different province. And we used to chat on Skype. He wanted me to think he was a badass or something and would always talk about his drug use. He ended up faking a heroin overdose when we were on chat together. I was hysterically crying and freaking out thinking I was watching someone dying and was trying to figure out how to call 911 in another province when he snapped out of it and told me he was actually okay. I didn't talk to him much after that. This was years ago. On a first date, tried to convince me to quit my job and put all my savings into gold bars, then demanded I let him read my tarot cards to see if we'd be a good fit. Nope, nope, nope. Light the back fence of the school on fire to impress a mate. I was 21 and in college. He was a classmate of mine. He seemed so charming and was easy on the eyes. One day I overheard him talking to his friends about how he doesn't date engineer women because math is for men. She got blackout drunk at a party and violently shat her pants. The smell alone completely turned me off of any interest I had. Being rude to the waiter and complained that food is taking too long during dinner rush hour. I work in the industry for a year. It's not easy when being slammed during rush. Girl in car behind him honked when the light turned green. He got out of the car and began screaming and banging on her windshield. That's when I knew he was a psycho and I needed to get out of that relationship. Took me a destroyed home and 2 restraining orders later, but we've been broken up for 3 years now. We were going on a date and when we were just next to the cinema she found her friend and she went with her instead. Told me he was only being nice to me because he was interested in a friend of mine. I see his Facebook posts now. He is dumber than a box of rocks on a treadmill. She asked if things didn't work out if I would mind if she went out with my roommate. I said I couldn't possibly do that to him and left. Dumped me after 9 months because she wasn't ready for a serious relationship. Got into a relationship the next day and was married within 5 months. There was a girl in college who was super hot until I saw her share a lollipop with her dog. Not like let him have the last lick or two. No. She'd hold it for a while, then hold it out to let the dog lick it for a bit, then put it back in her mouth. Fucking gross. Told me that smart girls are ugly and dumb girls are beautiful, so he'd rather date a dumb girl and wouldn't date me because I'm smart. In college, I was crazy about a girl named Megan. She was maybe 2 years younger than me. Blonde, life of the party type gal. Took her to dinner and chatted her up about her life. Got to talking about past SOS and realized she had very little experience with meaningful, loving relationships. Romantically, it seemed she was on autopilot. In fact, the more we talked, the more obvious it became that she wasn't ready to love anyone but herself, which, you know, good for her. Self-love and self-discovery are kind of big parts of going away to college and growing up. But I realized in that moment that what I wanted vs. what she wanted were miles apart. It was a crystallizing moment. And I felt the distance between us widen and watched her shrink away. Never asked her out again. And she never asked why. Either she felt it, too, or autopilot just kicked in, or she just wasn't interested. Sorry for my bad English, but here is my story. I had a crush on so many. Let's call her Amanda. For 3 years I tried to get with her. Amanda used me if she needed attention, and I was cool with that. One night Amanda was ringing my doorbell at 2 a.m. It was obvious that Amanda was drunk, and I let her in so we could talk. After a few minutes she said she wants me to *CK her. I told her that I never sleep with so many who's drunk, but we could do it when she is sober. She got angry and the insults came flying. She stormed out of my house, got in her car, backed it up into my motorcycle and drove away. I never talked to her again after that night. Revealed his list of conquests. Not even my brother knows how many women I've slept with. Then he offered to take my virginity in the back of his pickup truck. I passed. Placed a tip on the table before we'd received service. Before using it as a threat. All ugly. My 18-year-old self thought it would be cute to invite him to a Christmas parade, but this dude had the audacity to ask me why I thought he would ever be interested in someone like me. *Edit. Yay, my first 3K. I wish I could take you all to a Christmas parade. Also, I met my boyfriend just over a year ago and it has been the most wonderful surprise of my life. This was in preschool. But she put relish on her hot dog. Game over. I've since learned to love relish and always wonder what could have been. He talked about how he and his friends used to abuse farm cats. They talked about one that was buried and then run over. I did a quick 180 and absolutely hated him. Had a crush on this girl back in high school. She seemed like a sweet girl. After she rejected me I let it go, but still was interested in maintaining some sort of friendship. Found out she was actually pretty toxic behind my back. She made fun of me for a lot of things that really didn't matter, like hand motions while talking, and I just lost interest in her entirely. Even in a friendship.